All right, everybody. Firstly, I wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight to our GBYP's first mayoral debate. My name is Isaiah Thelwell. I'm over here, president of the Greater Brockton Young Professionals. I want to thank each and every single one of you for coming out. I want to thank our candidates for coming out here tonight. And we aim for this to be a focused debate, and it will be such. I'm going to hand it over to Jim Stapleton. He's going to explain a little bit more about the rules and such, and thank you guys for coming here.
Thank you, Isaiah. First off, we want to thank Brockton Community Cable, Community Access for being here tonight. We want to thank the Brockton Enterprise for being here tonight, too, to make sure we get coverage of this mayoral debate. We want to thank the people, the audience, obviously. You guys care about our city, and that passion, that love comes through. And that's why we have these three candidates here. My name is Jim Stapleton. I've been teaching for 40 years, and I will be one of the moderators up here, along with Dr. Eliza Wilson. I would like to introduce the candidates this evening, and then we'll discuss the format. Actually, I'm going to change that around. The first beginning, after I introduce the candidates, we're going to have the opening remarks. Each candidate will have 2 minutes. The order has been predetermined and will be on a rotational basis so that everyone will be winding up presenting first, speaking first as the night goes on, second and third, etc. This evening we have 3 candidates. Closest to our podium is Councilor Jean Bradley Durenencourt. On stage in the middle is Luz Villa. And the remaining candidate on the far end of that podium is Councilor Moses Rodriguez. During this first round, each candidate, again, will have 2 minutes to address the audience. Based on the order, Councilor Rodriguez will begin first.
I guess I'm on, right? Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dr. Wilson, Isaac, John of the venue, and all of you for being here tonight. I'm going to begin by telling you a little bit about myself for those of you that do not know me. I was born in Cape Verde. I grew up in Angola and left Angola in the middle of a civil war to immigrate to the United States. I came to the U.S. and went straight to Brockton High School speaking absolutely no English. I was lucky enough to do well enough in high school to go to college. I joined the military where I served in the United States Navy for 6 years. Got married to my wife of 39 years and had 3 wonderful children and 2 grandkids. I worked at Brockton Hospital as the head of interpreter services, ran a store that used to be known as Caldor that doesn't exist anymore. And I am now the executive director of the Cape Verdean Association. I also worked for Mayor Harrington in the City of Brockton, but that's my story. Tonight you will hear a lot of stories, some of which are nothing but stories, some of which are nothing but wishful thinking and good intentions. But the reality is, we have to look deep inside this race and decide for yourselves who is the most qualified person to run this city. And it's $618 million budget and able to supervise nearly 5,000 employees. What budgetary and supervisory experience do each and every one of us have? That's the main question that needs to be asked, and that's the question that candidates should be explaining here tonight. Who among us are the most qualified and has the resume, not wishful thinking and advocacy, to run as the CEO of the 5th largest city in the Commonwealth? Wishful thinking and promises will not make our city great and better the lives of the residents and the taxpayers of this city. In this election, we must ask and select those that are credible, honest, over shenanigans. Have you ever heard Coca-Cola saying that it's better than Pepsi? Have you ever heard McDonald's saying that it's better than Burger King? The answer is no. They stand on their own credibility and their product. They stand on quality. They stand on their experience in the industry, and that's what I am here to do, to stand on. My stand on credibility and experience speaks for itself, and unlike some other candidates, my word is bond. And I thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
In order to be perfectly fair, Councilor Rodriguez went a little bit long, but that's okay. We'll give everyone that extra minute. He was exactly 3 minutes. So we'll give everyone 3 minutes in the opening round. To be quite honest, I don't know how to set my clock so it would ring, and I wasn't going to be rude and interrupt the gentleman as he was speaking. Okay, so that was the truth. So speaking second will be candidate Villar.
Hello? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Luz Villar, and I was born and raised right here in Brockton. Like many of the families in our city, mine faced struggles, including time in the foster care system. But it was our educators, our mentors, and the community that gave me the foundation to succeed. And that's why I'm here, because I owe so much to this city. And I believe every child and family deserves the same chance to thrive. It is my first time running for office, but it's not my first time in public service. I've worked at the municipal and federal level in government. I've worked in legacy civil rights organizations, and at one of the largest custodian banks in the world, where I focused on strategic initiatives and made government and institutions work better for the people. These experiences gave me the skills and perspectives to take on tough challenges. My professional educational experience qualified me for this role, but it is my lived experience that calls me to this work. Brockton, we are at a crossroads. We need fiscal stability so our schools and services stay strong. We need smart infrastructure, investments so our water system and those alike are reliable and affordable. And we need evidence-based, practical solutions to addiction, our housing crisis, and public safety. I'm running for mayor because we cannot afford politics as usual. We need a new perspective. We need leadership that's accountable, collaborative, and actually focused on results. So I'm ready to serve this city with integrity, with urgency, and deliver real results, because Brockton raised me, and now it's my turn to serve Brockton. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Villar, candidate Villar. And now we'd like to have Councilor Derenoncourt.
Very good. Good evening. Let me just start like this. For me, this moment tonight, it's a particular moment for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is very unlikely. And obviously, it's not a story about me because I'm not here to represent myself. But I will give you a little bit of who I am as a person, where I've been, where I stand, and where I would like to take this city forward. As some of you know, I was born and raised in Haiti. I came here after the earthquake. Day one in this community, I have shown you my commitment, my willingness, not just to live in this community, but also to serve you. By going to the library and learning English, working at Crystal's restaurant as a busboy, going to Massasoit and Suffolk University, create the basic foundation that we need for every single young people to believe that in this community, thereby a possibility for them to move on. But I'm not going to dwell into this like I stated, because tonight is a moment of urgency in terms of where we are as a city and where do we want to go? The question is simple. Who do we trust to lead the city? It's a simple word with a capital T. Do you trust the establishment or do you trust something new? And who do you trust to build that base which we desperately need to carry on? Tonight, it's a moment to talk about education. Let's invest in education for every single child in our community, to making sure that we have the basic foundation where anybody who lives in this community has the possibility to send their child to school and knowing that this kid will receive quality education. Tonight, it's a moment to talk about tax incentive for our senior citizen, to understand the complexity of what's going on in here, and with old politics day in and day out, not knowing what to expect, and people come up with a, how do I put this, memorization to repeat to you. I come with nothing but my heart to let you know who I am as a person, what I stand for, and where we want to go. Because you know what? Enough with the politics, because that's why we have a deficit of $19 million. Nobody knows what happened to it. And that's why we went over budget by $51 million. It's not going to be about me or anybody else. It's about you folks. Who do you trust? Who has responsibility and a level of discipline to go to City Hall and carry that basic foundation for everybody when it's come down to the police, to the fire, and a moment of inclusivity as opposed to exclusivity. We must come together as a community. We must come together as a city for every single one of us. This is the moment for you to understand the difference between each and every single one of us. To end this, I am here to work for you and with you. And that's one of the reasons, as you can see, I am the only person on the stage that can say that. I put more money into this campaign than anybody else. You know why? Because I care and I believe in something. I am the only person on this stage who have been going out there, knock on doors every single day to talk to you face by face at your door to understand the issues that is going on and why I am in this race. This is not about politics. It's about community. It's about responsibility. It's about what we can do as a city for all of us. This is not about Haitian. This is not about Cape Verdean. This is not about Italian. This is about the city of Champion. Brockton is an amazing place. We have the ability and limitless possibility to carry on. What we need is a leader who understands who we are as a community and what we can do. What I will bring to City Hall is accountability. What I will bring to City Hall is a sense of leadership whereby every single one of us will feel like we live in a community that is clean, we live in a community that is enforcing traffic and making sure that people feel so welcome to move here. Day one, we will create that base, and I will leave it there.
Yeah. Before we go to round one, just to make things easier, I think, did you set it up? Okay, we have now set up so you'll hear the sound. If the sound doesn't go, I'll just tap twice. That means you have 5 seconds or so. We got to make sure we're all respectful and fair. Speaking about being respectful and fair, before we commence, John Andrade and V727, thank you so much for hosting this tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much. So again, in this round, each candidate gets 1 minute, and we have to adhere to that. I let them have a little flexibility in the opening remarks, but that cannot continue. I feel like I'm back in school. So you have 1 minute, 30-second rebuttal. Again, I'll have to tap twice. That means you get 5 seconds, and please don't be disrespectful to our audience and our other candidates. Dr. Wilson, you are first.
Thank you. I have a question, new growth strategy. I'll be reading the question, and then in the order, Jim, did we say Luz, Jean, Moses? So we'll be, Jean Bradley, yes, candidate for mayor, yes. So over the past 3 years, our city's annual tax revenue of new growth has fluctuated between $2 million and $2.23 million. That's new growth of tax dollars into our city. If elected, what specific strategies would you pursue to increase economic growth through new tax revenues? In your response, please speak to the various types of revenue available to us. That includes property taxes for homeowners, commercial and industrial development for business and others, excise taxes, and other opportunities tied to state or federal incentive programs. And finally, What would you consider a realistic and reasonable new annual revenue growth target number for the city during your first term? And how would you measure success in achieving that number? You have 1 minute.
That's right, it's loaded. 1 minute's not enough. But I will say I know how hard. No. But I know how hard it is for our families. Every time the bill goes up, our Brockton residents absorb that cost, and they're already carrying enough. And so she mentioned, for the sake of time, the different tax revenue sources that we have. But I think it's about expanding the tax basis, not actually raising our taxes. And so what I mean by that is attracting businesses that create jobs and also revitalizing downtown through various efforts, and we'll get into it in other topics, but making our city government more efficient and making sure our dollar works for every resident. Something that folks have not explored that I've seen other cities do, and it does bring a high return on investment, is a participatory budget. I would love to explore that, even just 1%. We've seen a $3 to a $7 return investment on every dollar invested, and that's just one component. Am I at 60 seconds? All right, I got 5 seconds. Well, and what was that last part?
Specific number. I'm looking for growth. You said yourself it's 2 million to 2.23 million. What can we expect under your leadership?
Just to be quick, I would say anywhere from 5 to 11 million within just that first year with different ideas and tax services.
Did she answer my question? How? No, we've got to go to that. Okay, so we don't know how you would measure. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Anyways.
Candidate Gene Bradley.
Excellent. Well, obviously, you did pretty good with this because this was a book. Let me just say this, though. It's like, as somebody who's serving you on the council right now, this is what I voted against. For the record, I voted against every single tax proposal. That's on the record. Before we can think about how we're going to raise taxes, let's think about fixing our schools. Let's create a system where people feel like, hey, I can move to Brockton and send my kids to school, and I'll buy a house, and we're going to talk about revenue. That's number one. Number two, law enforcement. How do we make the city safe? In every single community, when somebody is moving in, there are two things they take under consideration. Number one is school. Number two is safety. Now, if you have a great school system and you have a safe community, you don't have to worry about people moving in to pay taxes. And at the end of the day, what we have to do is continue on that base whereby people understand that the place is safe for them to move in, and they can trust the school system to send the school. Then you will have the money you need to carry on. That's what you need, not charging people taxes. I will vote against every single tax proposal.
So that's new money coming in. But specifically, what would that number be?
Well, I'll tell you this. I just said it to you. So number one, there's no number because I'm not looking forward to raise taxes. What I'm looking forward to do is to create an environment whereby people will feel comfortable to move in, business will feel comfortable to create the business in here and make investment whereby you're going to have revenue. I am not looking forward to raise your taxes, and I will not support any tax proposal. It's not raising taxes. The question should be, what can we do to bring more people in our city and they can pay taxes?
Council, if I could paraphrase, I think Dr. Wilson is saying we are not looking to further the tax burden on the taxpayer. She's asking, as candidate Villar answered, how much new growth would your economic policies, if elected mayor, bring in on an annual basis? Ms. Villar said, and if she's elected mayor, that it's going to be $5 to $11 million is her target. If she's elected mayor, we're sitting here in 2027, we can judge her on that number. What number can we judge you on if it's 2027 and you're our mayor?
I'll tell you this. As somebody who is on the council as we speak, that's important, though, because I'm not just running for mayor. I am one of your city council. It will be irresponsible.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. We're looking for a number. What's the number?
Oh, I cannot give you a number.
Okay.
It
so
will
zero.
Be irresponsible.
Okay.
It's not zero.
No number.
Your question is calculated, as you know, as you and I know. It's calculated, but I will not give you a number on that.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Councilor at Large Rodriguez.
Well, I was actually going to go there because raising revenue is not raising taxes. We can raise revenues without raising taxes. There's other ways we can do that. We've got 3 major properties in this city that can actually are prime for development. The fairgrounds is one of them. The CSX property is another one. We've got the Spark Street property is another one that could actually raise some serious revenue for the city without raising taxes. Our taxpayers, by the way, and when we say taxpayers, we're not talking about income taxpayers. We're talking about people that own properties and pay their water bills in the city are paying 70+% of the tax burden in this city versus 20-something by the commercial taxes. So what we need to do is balance that out a little bit so that when people like myself who are actually homeowners and paying taxes, we can put a little more money in our pockets, and that will take the stresses out. So going specifically to you, I'm looking, based on these new numbers, to raise anywhere between $3 to $4 million, because I got to be a little conservative, because if last year was 2 point something, we're not going to go all the way up to 5, 6 and stuff, because it might be impossible to do.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if any of the candidates wanted to rebut anyone else in that time. Is there any one of the 3 who wants to speak? You have 30-second rebuttal, 30 seconds.
I would love to. You know, my opponent on the right stated that the fairground, well, I voted to increase the amount of, you know, facilities that we would have there. I did. I made that motion to increase it. That was my vote, which you back up. And at the end of the day, and I say to you again, we will not raise taxes. And what's so unique is that, just so you know, I did not have access to any questions, for the record. You did not specifically saying that, how you going to do it. Number 1, we need to making sure that we have a great school system that will encourage people to come in. Number 2, we need to making sure that
Counselor,
our law enforcement
30
can base
seconds.
that. I just want to acknowledge it, because for me, taxes is something that people don't want. I knock on doors, I talk to people. They are not looking forward for anybody to raise the taxes. Let's showcase Brockton. Let's sell Brockton and invite more people to move in our city, whereby we're going to have more money to fund whatever we want to do. That's what I will do when I become the next mayor of Brockton.
Thank you. Councilor Rodriguez, you want to rebut?
Yes, I do.
Just in honor of being fair, Councilor Durenencourt spoke for 59 seconds. So I will give you the 10-second warning, so you're approaching 59 seconds, if you so wish that time.
You know, this is what I call a wish list in the sense. Everybody wants good roads, better schools, better this, better that. Guess what? This thing only functions with taxes. And if we are going to give raises to teachers, the firefighters, the police, we have to raise taxes, unfortunately. That's why we have to look into properties that we have in the city to grow our tax basis so we're able to pay for the services that we're asking for. It's all nice to say that we need to fix everything, but unfortunately, we can't fix anything unless we have the funds to do that. And in order for us to have those funds, we have to generate those funds, and that's what we're going to keep on doing.
Thank you to all 3. Before we commence with the second question, I will say after round 5 or question 5, we'll be taking a 4-minute break, just so in case anyone needs to use facilities, etc. I forgot to mention that earlier, okay? So after round 5. Second question, Isaiah Thelwell will present.
All right. So the order for this question, guys, will be Gene Bradley, it'll be Moses, and it'll be Luz. All right? So, as we all know, our downtown is the heart of our city. And for those of you following along, by the way, we're on question number 2, homeless issues in downtown. Our downtown is the heart of the city, yet many residents and business owners feel it has been overtaken by challenges tied to homelessness and mental health. Do you believe that that these issues are a detriment to residential and commercial development downtown? And how will you help solve the problem?
Excellent. So let's go with the homeless situation, which I think is key. And obviously, there was an ordinance. These are loaded questions, though. These are not questions that can answer with like a few seconds. There was a proposal for an ordinance, which I voted against it. And I believe Council Susan Nicastro is in the audience somewhere. She voted against it too, which was supported by my colleague over there to solve that problem. When they proposed that piece of legislation, I called it out and I said it was a lie. And I said there was a campaign coming up. They were trying to build that base to carry on. The homeless situation is not a local problem. It's a, matter of fact, it's not even a state problem. It's a nationwide problem. And at the end of the day, as a human being, as a person, I believe that we gotta be able to understand the complexity of that problem. There are people on the road that have mental problems. Let's get them help. Bridgewater State, right? There are people on the road that have drugs problems. Let's find a solution for them. And we got veterans out there. Let's work with the VA. Here's what I'll do as the next mayor. I will work in collaboration with the state and different organizations to come up with a solution to see how we can clean downtown. Thereby, everybody will have a sense of responsibility.
Thank you, Councilor.
And dispatch these people wherever they want to go. That's what we'll do, as opposed to my colleague who
Councilor,
voted on it,
Councilor.
and then he knows it was a lie, and I'm
Okay,
going to see what
thank
he's
you.
going to say about
Thank you,
it.
Councilor. Time is up. Next is Councilor Moses.
You better believe I voted for it, because doing nothing is not an answer. This is what we've been doing in this city. A lot of people that preach these nice things about doing nothing. You know what is unacceptable? What's unacceptable is other communities sending us 60% of the homeless people in this community into our city. What's unacceptable is our children having to walk in the middle of the road because their sidewalks are taken up. What's unacceptable is our children being harassed on a daily basis by homeless folks who are taking their lunch money in their lunch bags. What is unacceptable is a 5-year-old collecting syringes because he wants to go home and play doctor. What's unacceptable is businesses having people defecate in front of their steps or in their parking lot. You better believe I voted for something, because in order for us to do something, we needed something. And you know how many people have been arrested in this city because of the ordinance that supposedly was so criminalizing? 0. But at least there's something in the books that help us move this movie forward.
Okay. Last but not least, candidate Villar.
Thank you. So we see here, you voted for it, you voted against it, but nobody has proposed something that actually works. We're talking about a demographic or a population of people that we're not talking to directly. You've mentioned you're the only one knocking on doors, but I would have to disagree. I've knocked on many doors. I've knocked on many doors, and I've even sat with our very homeless population, of those experiencing homelessness, the ones that live in our parks and live under our bridges. And if I'm really being transparent, some of them are even my own friends and family members. I've taken my own time and resources to create my own census data because I could not find something that was accurate or readily available to the public. And I've learned something, and I've shared this with our clinical providers, and they're so shocked by the data that I've shown them that they've even committed to providing trauma response and behavioral health services for our people for free, which I've already started to done just as a candidate. In the data, we found that between the ages of 25 and 54, there are no inpatient supportive services, especially for those dealing with behavioral health crisis. Am I at time?
Yes, you are.
All right, my bad.
But just so I understand, you're saying your solution would be more services, more inpatient services? And
It would be providing wraparound services. So I don't think it's a tent encampment or putting tents up or a temporary shelter. We need a system or a solution that doesn't ostracize the population.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilor. Now, thank you very much. Now, just like the last round, any of you have a need for a rebuttal? You have a 30-second rebuttal. Remember this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously,
All right.
you know, my opponent stated that he voted in favor of it. But I said it. For what? Just to please you, which is nonsense. And at the end of the day, what he voted for was something that he knew certain business community was going to support. And you know what's so funny right now? Every single one of them find out it was a lie. They endorse me. That's what we're talking about, not being honest. And that's why I said the question is, who do you trust with a capital T to lead the city as opposed to make proposals that are baseless? That's what we are talking about tonight.
Would you like a rebuttal?
Absolutely.
Councilor Rodriguez.
As far as doing something about it, we have a $2 million settlement sitting in the coffers here in the city that we got from the opioid settlement. We're going to put that to work. Well, we're going to provide some services to some folks in the community without touching the taxpayers. Councilor Dorencourt, it's kind of interesting to say that he should be trusted. This guy, in January he wasn't running, in February he wasn't running, in March he wasn't running, in April he wasn't running, sitting in my office at the Cape Verdean Association saying, I have no intentions of running. And therefore, at the end of May, all of a sudden he decides, I'm going to run for mayor as well, too, because I can be trusted.
Thank you, Councilor.
Really?
Thank you very much. That's it. Councilor Luz, I'm sorry, candidate Luz, would you like a rebuttal?
Or just to add, if you want to add to what you were speaking of.
All right.
We're going to wait on that.
Yeah.
We want to wait. I'll be fair. Don't worry. Let's move on to the question regarding Brockton High School. 7 years ago, Mayor Carpenter, as he would do yearly, came to South Middle School and told my 8th graders that the next 4 or 5 years would be tough as the high school was being rebuilt. Well, that was 7 years ago. We have an aging facility, and for years we've discussed renovating it or rebuilding. As our surrounding school choice communities have built new high schools, they've attracted our BPS students through school choice, and the plight of Brockton High School has become even more urgent. I want to ask you a couple of simple questions. What is your plan to renovate or rebuild? How will you pay for it? Meaning, how will we pay for it? And when will your plan commence? Going first in this case, I got to make sure I'm fair. We're round 4? Three. It's Councilor Rodriguez.
Does that mean I'm going to have the same time that Gene had when he decided to come on stage and speak?
I will make sure we are as fair as we can be. I'm going to do my best.
Because this is one of my favorite subjects, by the way, because as a Brockton High School grad, and again, Brockton High School, in my opinion, is the best urban high school in the state. And it'll continue to be. What I can tell you is this. The high school is over 50 years old, because I graduated from it in 1980, so you look how long ago that was. And I'm going to tell you something interesting, even before some of these two young people were born. But I'm going to tell you something. We all know what Chapter 70 money is. We all do, I hope. But has anybody ever heard of Chapter 74? Chapter 74 funds are funds that are special funds for vocational and technical schools. We send over 500 kids of our schools to charter schools and technical schools all over this region. If we just retain those children, that would generate $9 million a year, more than enough to pay for the renovations of the Brockton High School. So one of the things that I would be working on is to work with the school department, with the school committee, to create that vocational school here in the city so we can retain and keep the kids and be able to renovate our brand spanking new high school.
Thank you, Counselor. Let me ask one question. I love the answer you gave. What year would you anticipate? I know it's a tough one. What year would you anticipate that project beginning? We're now into 26, right?
I'm actually looking as far as the VoCTech. That's something that I've spoken with some members of the school committee that are even here. I think we could begin that early next year. It doesn't have to take an arm and a leg to get that stuff done. So as soon as next year, we should be able to do that.
Thank you. Candidate Villar.
Thank you. So I do want to add, I do know about Chapter 74 because I graduated from Southeastern Tech School. And to answer your question, I would use the MSBA's course program to help fund building a new school. To give you a year, I would say about 2030, 2031, being realistic. I do also want to add, it sounded like from your answer you were talking about building a brand new brick and mortar. Brockton High, they already take the vocations in the same classes I was taking at Southeastern. My friends in Brockton High were taking. So it's a matter of actually solidifying them and bringing credentials so that when our high school students graduate from Brockton High, not only do they have their diploma, but also the credibility because they put in the work. They're just not getting the credit for it. And they're already doing that. So that's my answer.
Thank you, candidate Villar.
Oh, actually, can I add one more thing?
Yeah, because you have 10 seconds left.
Wonderful. So I also wanted to add, due to Chapter 70, and we talk about what resources and funds and what we would use, I would stop laying off teachers and making sure that we're keeping up with our data and reporting our census on the amount of teachers that we have and what we need, because that also impacts Chapter 70, which impacts the funds that we get on the state level. It's due to lack of reporting from our municipal government.
Thank you, candidate.
Yeah,
Councilor Duranencourt.
Thank you. So this one is a unique one. I mean, obviously, we are in dire necessity of a new high school because, believe it or not, when you see that it's raining out there, the Brockton High School is pouring in. And I feel like we need to sit down with the state and explain to them the necessity of having a new buildings because every single community, talking about Everett, Cambridge, other places, they are building new schools. Why can't we do it? And I think this is a conversation that I'm willing to have with the state, day one. And also, other people who may have a desire to donate some money, right, and help with this. Why not reach out to a couple of people that we know that are millionaires and billionaires and tell them that we understand it's going to be Brockton Public School, but we can add your name on it if you are willing to give us a couple millions. You raise money. We know how to raise money. Why not do that? And I think it is a conversation that we need to have. And what I can promise you is that day one, I will sit down with the state and different people that I know, which I already have access to open this conversation to see how we can build that new schools that we are desperately need for our kids.
Okay, if I could, audience. If I could ask you, what year would you anticipate the project beginning?
In regard to building the new school, right, I believe day one, like I said, I will open this conversation with the state, with different organizations and different people to see where do we go from there. Because I feel like it would be somewhat premature to acknowledge a date without knowing where that money is coming from. So if day one, we have access to the money, let's build it.
Thank you. Rebuttals. Who would like to rebut? Councilor Rodriguez.
Well, thank you, Jim. I'd like to announce, I think for the folks that might not know, that the SBA actually has approved Brockton for rehabbing. And they were willing to pay us up to 80% of the total cost of the school, which means that we can only come up with 20%. But the 20% is going to be around anywhere between $120 to $140 million. So we have to raise that somehow. That's why I think we got to come up and be smart about it. But the SBA, we've been looking at this for 15 years. And they finally approved the City of Brockton for its program, and that process is well underway. What I was saying about next year is to go into VOTEC for us to get the funds from VOTECing to help us with the expense. But the SBA at the high school is well underway in terms of the process.
Thank you. Candidate Villar, Councilor Duranencourt, you want to rebut?
No, I mean, I think especially on this issue, I'm pretty positive we are on the same page. I mean, it would be, naive not to acknowledge that this is what we want. So, I mean, I think we are doing pretty good so far on that one.
I appreciate that, Councilor Duranencourt. Question 4 is from Mr. Thelwell.
All right, I'm back, everybody. So if you're following along on your table, this question is rents and housing production. Rents and housing production. So rents in Brockton have risen, yet the number of apartments and condos has not. How many new units of housing can we expect if you are elected as mayor? Do you believe in market rate, or do you wish to have new homes and apartments subsidized? All right, and the first, that's going to be candidate Villar. I can repeat it. So, rents in Brockton have risen, yet the number of apartments and condos has not. How many new units of housing can we expect if you are elected as mayor? Do you believe in market rate, or do you wish to have the new homes subsidized? Candidate Villar.
Y'all gonna make me a counselor today. In terms of the number of units that we can expect, I don't want to give a false number, but if I had a magic wand, I would love to see somewhere in the few hundreds, just given the demographic and what's in need right now. And then to the second part of that is, I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question? How many units? Subsidized.
Market rate or subsidized housing?
Yeah, so subsidized housing for sure, just given the median household income here is $78,000. So even by conventional landing standards, it's not affordable if we were to just stick with the market rate.
Next is Councilor Durancourt.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we speak, I've been endorsed by the Coalition for Social Justice by virtue of what I sent forward. By the way, I've just been endorsed by 1199 SCIU, 509, 888, and 32 BJs, just to talk about housing, because they know my stance on that one. Yes, I believe in market rate and also subsidized housing. And in my view, hopefully we will be able to come with like 5,000 if we may. But again, we gotta be able to give people a reason to move in. We gotta be able to give people a reason to understand that our school is doing good, we are safe in our community, whereby they can come and make their investment. The number one thing that we have to do is to clean the city. That will encourage more people to invest. I believe in subsidized, I believe in market rate, and of course, Section 8, absolutely.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir. I gotta be honest about this. The city of Brockton, the government of Brockton, is not in the business of building homes. That's not our function. Our function is to bring investors, bring developers to come into the community to build homes and develop homes. Now, we can be advocates to make sure that those homes are affordable and our people can afford it, but we cannot sit here and promise that we want X, I'm going to build X number of houses, X number of housing units, because that's really not up to us. You know, our job in city government is to promote this city, work on quality of life so our people feel safe and investors feel safe in coming in, but we have to let the public sector come in and invest. I'm a believer in a balanced form of housing, where you have some market rate and you have some affordable housing. But at the same time, you want to make sure your community has the capital to spend for folks that are coming in to be able to come into those houses.
Thank you, Councilor. Do we have any rebuttals to any of these statements? No? Nice and easy. I like that. All right. I'm pressing over to...
All right, our next candidate, our next question is something that's very near and dear to my heart. For instance, I have a Hall of Fame that'll be in its 5th year this year at South Middle School. This year I'm inducting someone like Sean Joyce, a Brockton High graduate who is Deputy Director of the FBI. There's only been 16 Deputy Directors in American history. Sean is one of them. I'll be inducting to South Hall of Fame Keith Davidson, who's a Beverly Hills attorney, who was an attorney against Hulk Hogan and for Stormy Daniels in the first Trump case. He's a Brockton kid. We just do a bad job of promoting our greatness. It's absolutely amazing the talent we have in the city currently and have had. So my question is, if we fail to promote, then others will denigrate us. What specific plans do you have? And I want specificity here. What plans do you have? To use media, etc., or to create some type of apartment or position for someone? We have so many talented people to allow the city's truth to be told. Because I tell you, I'm sick and tired of others telling the story of Brockton. We got to tell our story. With that said, it is time for Councilor Durancourt. You're first.
Excellent. Well, earlier I stated that the City of Brockton has limitless possibility in terms of what we have to offer, whereby W. Field Park, right? Why not showcase that? Downtown Brockton, why not showcase that? Brockton High School, Joaquin Marciano, Marvin Hagler. I think what we need to do is to empower our young people with technology whereby they can sell the city of Brockton. I don't want to be just a mayor. I would like to be the voice of Brockton. I would like to be a representative of Brockton. I would like to be the face that people can see and saying that, well, this is Brockton, not that. I would like to be the positivity of what we hope and what we can expect. Because at the end of the day, it is up to each and every single one of us to go out there and become a salesman or saleswoman to sell Brockton. That's what I will do. I will use every ability that I have, every access that I have to go out there and sell Brockton to the best of my ability. That's what I will do.
Just so I can follow up, Counselor. Mayor Carpenter had a weekly show, Shoe City Scoop. It was placed on YouTube, and it was seen by thousands. It helped Brockton. Mayor Units had bumper stickers, City of Champions. We saw them all over the state. Everywhere you went, you saw a Brockton City of Champions bumper sticker. Do you have a specific plan, or would you emulate one of those?
Well, I mean, especially with my slogan, I said, let's move Brockton forward together, because it's going to take all of us to sell the city. Not just us as people up here, but also you. When you go out there, it's how you talk about Brockton. And that's why I said, let's talk about DW Field. Let's talk about the golf course. And as we speak, as you know, we're putting a lot of money into this, and people from the outside are coming in the city, as you know, Jim, to come and play golf. Then let's showcase that. Let's sell that out. Why not?
Thank you. Thank you. Councilor Rodriguez, your turn.
Thank you, Jim. Unfortunately, we don't have the media powers of Boston or some of these other communities to come in and do the promotion that we should have here in the city of Brockton. But we are our worst enemy. We, Brocktonians, are our worst enemy. We never talk about how great our Brockton High School is, the great programs that we have, almost even your program, the sole program that you have at South Middle School. How often do we talk about the fact that we held the Cape Verdean Festival with over 7,000 people at the Rock Stadium with no incidences? In a city that actually, and I'm going to answer your question because I know how it is in this politics, we kind of go around in circles, but in a city with a budget of $618 million, $618 million that we just passed in this June of 2025, do you know what our promotional budget is for the city?
I'm afraid to ask.
You should be afraid to ask. Zero. It's not zero, but it's close to zero. So one of the things that we need to do, we need to put resources behind what we are. Perhaps we got to cut back on certain things that we buy and go crazy with and put the promotional pieces in. It doesn't have to be just in TV shows, but it can be in billboards across the state. It could be on buses across the state. But we need to put more promotional pieces in the city of Brockton.
Thank you very much. Candidate Villar.
I actually really love this question because I consider myself a Brockton ambassador wherever I've gone. And I've learned that we have the legacy of Rocky Marciano. His gloves are actually in South Africa. And there's so many places that I go, and I've traveled, and I say, oh, I'm from Brockton. And I'm like, where are you from? Where's that? Oh, where Rocky Marciano's from. And so his legacy alone has left a mark on this city. So I always promote that. I also have to emphasize, I did go to Southeastern, but I remember learning shortly after graduating that Brockton High students actually perform better academically than the students there. And so I always promote that. You guys are one of the top performing schools in this whole state. And then secondly, there's those things cost money, what you guys propose, and then we have our landmarks, right? But then there's low-hanging fruit we can really take advantage of, like our congressional art competitions. Our young people have not been submitted to any. I've talked to Congressman Lynch about it. That's free. Our academy nominations, there's a way for you to recommend students to go straight into places like West Point in the Air Force. And so there's low-hanging fruit that don't cost anything. We could uplift our young talent and everybody else in between. Thank you.
I must admit, I love what I'm hearing. Does anyone have a rebuttal they would like to add?
Well, it's not a rebuttal. I would like to fix the record. Obviously, my colleague stated that we voted a $600 million. Well, that's incorrect. It was $550 million. I did not vote on a budget that was $600 million. We need to get the numbers correct because you go over budget. That's what I'm talking about. If you cannot get the number correct here,
Counselor.
tell me about it.
Counselor, look on your budget books. It's $618 million. Last year, it was $550 million. This year, it was $618 million. So look in your books. Perhaps you ought to spend more time looking at those books than just doing some of the things that you're doing. But look in the books, and you can figure that stuff out.
For the record, no, I have to fix it.
Councilor Duranencourt, on your rebuttal, you only took 20 seconds.
Just 1
So
second.
I'll give you 10 seconds more. Councilor Rodriguez, afterwards, you have 9 seconds if you want to rebut. So we got 10 and 9.
Let's just put it, though. It's public domain. It's public knowledge. July 1st, we passed a budget that was $555 million. Check it out yourself. We have to Google it. There you go.
All right,
Google it.
there's your 10. We can look
million
that up.
dollars, not $600 million.
Thank you. Do you want to rebut, Council?
I stand by my statement because I looked at the book, and since I was actually the council president a couple years ago, I know that budget was $550 million, and then this is $618 million. So go figure it out.
You got to love it. Thank you. Thank you. If I could just add, if I could just ask a quick question, and then we're going to take a 4-minute break so they can stretch the legs, have a drink of water, because it's tough to be up there. I'm just going to ask a real quick question. I want a yes or no on this. I don't know if this person's available. I don't know the situation. We have an Emmy Award-winning producer who lives in the city, who went to the city's high schools. I am not going to mention his name. I am not going to mention his name because I don't have permission to mention his name right now, and I would not do that. Would you find a way to hire? Because right now, our Brocktonian works in another city directing their programs. Would you find the money, whether the budget's 550, 618, whatever, would you find the money to hire that person? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. 4-minute break if you need it. I would like to say so far after that first 2/3 of the debate, I think the score is Brockton 100, everyone else 0. Great first part. Thank you all three. Doing a great job. Brockton 100, other community 0 after that first round. Thank you. We're winning. Okay, you know who you got, so it should be Moses first, right?
Yes. Okay, we're back, everyone. All right, counselors, candidate, we're going to begin. Candidate Rodriguez is first, candidate Villar, and then candidate Duranencourt will complete the answer. This question concerning a great accomplishment. And we're going to talk about accomplishments concerning affordability in our city. One of the biggest concerns for Brockton families is affordability. Homeowners, business owners, and renters are feeling the pressure of rising costs, whether taxes, city services, infrastructure, or water. And we understand that our fiscal leadership is critical to ensuring Brockton's remains affordable while being able to invest in our future. So with that, please share your plan to manage Brockton's water system so that both residents and businesses are not crushed by rising rates. And again, that's Rodriguez, Villar, Duranencourt. Begin time.
You know, that's one of my favorite subjects, water. Recently, I don't know if you know that I took a 24-hour vacation to Florida. And actually, I got there around 9 o'clock. I left here around 8 o'clock in the morning, got there around 2 o'clock. I had a meeting with some folks down at the Aquaria office down there, and the meeting ended at 7 o'clock. So at 7 o'clock, I had something to eat, and then I went to the beach so that I can enjoy the beach in southern Florida. and then got on the plane the next day and came back to Brockton. By the way, all paid for by this guy. Anyways, I went there to talk to some folks about the Aquaria plant because since 2008, we have paid a grand total of $103 million to Aquaria without
10
a
seconds.
dime, a single thing to
10 seconds. Your plan.
That was it? What kind of clock are you guys running? Because that seemed to be a little too quick. But the point is, we've spent a ton of money using nothing for $103 million. There's a proposal out there that will be coming to the mayor hopefully soon to basically have us purchase that plant so that we can save a grand total of at least $3 million. Because right now we're paying them $9 million without a single drop of water, and we still have another $27 million to go. So hopefully we have to look at it, take the politics out of it, because in 2008 we will run out of water. We will run out of the opportunity. The wells in this area are failing everywhere. We have a problem with that.
All right. Villar, your plan, and we have 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Oh, I think it's going to be way more than that based on what my colleague just stated. It's there. For the record.
Hold on, is the speaking order, is it counselor, myself, then counselor, or is it him?
It's you.
Okay.
Your answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see if I even remember the question. In short, I don't think we can just absorb the cost and sign off to another contract with Aquaria. We need to look at the other options and continue to explore that. I know that's something they're doing right now. I've met with other candidates and elected officials that are looking at, I won't name drop, but there's other water plants that we could partner with and think about the neighboring towns and cities that also benefit off of us, and how do we incentivize that so that we're able to benefit from it as well. Is that good? Am I on time?
You have more.
Okay, I'm good. I'll leave it right there.
Okay. Counselor?
Excellent. I mean, it's pretty simple. We will not buy Aquaria. The city is not in a financial state right now to purchase that plant for $58 million. We cannot afford to purchase this plant. For the record, my colleague flew to Miami with other people, and I called him out, which was August 26th. He waited until 2 days later to send an invoice showing us that he paid for it. But what you need to tell people is that I called you out. Look at the press release. And also for the record, there are two budgets. There's a city budget and a school budget. I just want to say this for all of you that look it up. What I'm saying to you is that in terms of like buying Aquaria, the city of Brockton, even as we speak, cannot afford to purchase this plant. Let's talk about building a new high school with that money. Let's talk about investing that money in our kids. Let's talk about fixing our roads. Let's talk about traffic enforcement. We are not in a financial state to purchase Aquaria for $58 million. I just don't know why you are pushing it. And especially with all the financial mess we've been going through. What makes you think that the city of Brockton, as we speak, is able to buy a water plant, which is due 2028, for $58 million? I think it is irresponsible, and we need to making sure that it doesn't happen. Because if I do become mayor, we will not, take my word for it, buy that plant.
Okay.
The council has a problem with numbers. The council has a problem with numbers. First of all, there's no $58 million purchase price anywhere. It is. There isn't. We went down there to get the facts on the plant to find out when the contract started, when it will expire, how much we pay them, and that's what we found out. And by the way, if we bought the plant, it wouldn't cost the taxpayers a dime. You know why? Because we pay Aquaria $9 million a year for zero water. That amount of money alone should pay the note, plus the operation of the plant, plus saving us about $3 million a year. So it would not cost the taxpayers a dime.
Anyone, you want to respond?
I just wanted to add to that. We're getting too fixated on the numbers. While my opponent here was interim mayor, he had the chance to look at other water plant sources and did not take advantage to look into that. So there have been biases for this Aquaria plant, and there's no benefits or incentives for us.
JVD?
I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, I am leading towards you on this one. You were the intern mayor.
I'm glad you noticed it.
I mean, you know, as a kid, I was taught by my parents, when somebody is speaking, I need to be quiet. That's what I was taught.
Please.
Go ahead.
And again, just so you know, this is Moses' team right here.
Okay,
For the record. This is your team calling me out on the stage.
At least I have a team.
What we
Go
are
ahead.
we do. What we are talking about is that
So what's
we are
your
not.
plan? What's
Can
your
we
plan?
get
Well, I
back?
said it
Can
to
we
you.
get
Number
back?
one, listen, it's pretty simple. I know your question is calculated. You and I know that, and I made it clear. What I'm saying to you is that that contract is not due until 2028. By law, that's important. People need to understand. The city of Brockton is required by law to have a second water sources. We have to have access to that. What we cannot do is invest $58 million. It is true, as you were leaving City Hall, you left a letter for Sullivan to buy that plant. He rejected it. As you know, you challenged Carpenter to buy that plant. He rejected it. And now you went to Miami to purchase that plant. I wonder what's going on behind the scene with buying that plant for $58 million. We'll find out.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you very much. So it's clear in that question. It's clear. We've each had a rebuttal. It's clear in that question. Counselor Rodriguez is in favor of purchasing the Aquaria with the right price.
For the right price.
For the right price.
It's not $58 million.
Counselor Duranencourt is not in favor of Aquaria being purchased.
Absolutely not.
Thank you. Thank you. That's important that we have the position. And Ms. Villar, you made yours also clear. So thank you. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, it's great to have that love up on stage. I mean, it's really good that we get the enthusiasm. I just want to go to the next question. And if the audience, again, please, you guys have been great so far. We just have a little bit of time left. And just keep it as Brockton great as we can. I mean, seriously. The one great thing about this city, no matter who you are, whether you've been in Brockton for 8 generations or 8 days, we always treat everyone with great respect. And we're going to keep doing that tonight. Thank you. If this question is going to be a quick one, we'll do the minute. There's probably no rebuttal in this one because I'm not sure how you're going to rebut in this one, to be quite honest. Luz, you'll begin. Luz, what's your greatest accomplishment?
Thank you, Jim. I would say one accomplishment I'm actually most proud of is the National Urban Expungement Program that created. So I worked for the National Urban League civil rights organization at their headquarters in New York. I was given just an idea to create a record relief program. And within 8 months, I was able to raise over $3 million to cover all clients' fines, fees, restitution, child support, court fees, due processing fees, pro bono attorneys to process it, and clear records for 1,500 people, completely expunge and seal their records. And then, which meant I piloted in the state of Ohio, working with a Republican governor and a Democratic mayor to open up work opportunities for 6 million people.
Well stated. I'm glad I learned that. I had no idea prior. Wow, that was impressive. Councilor Duranencourt.
Excellent. Well, for this city, obviously, for this year, my greatest accomplishment is saving the library $500,000. Because without that money, they would have closed the West Winch, the East Winch, and the Main Winch. I did. I challenged the mayor to put that money back in the budget. When my colleague supported it, and thank you for that. For me, I think it's a positive thing. And number two, in 2014, if you may recall that, Raise Up Massachusetts, in collaboration with the Coalition for Social Justice, I was part of that team that passed question 4. You may wonder, what is that? It's earn sick time for every single Massachusetts employee. I was part of that. Because at one point, you can have a job and not having access to sick time. As we speak, if you have a job and you can call sick and don't get fired, I was part of that team. that made it happen in 2014. That's a positive thing. And my third one is become a U.S. citizen. By virtue of being able to move in this country, become a citizen, and here I am trying to do something positive for our community. And the fourth one, I'm a resident of Brockton.
Thank you very much, Councilor and Councilor Rodriguez.
I thought it was just one. It wasn't one? Was it more than one? All right, so personally, I think my greatest accomplishment is marrying my wife 39 years ago and having 3 beautiful children. That's something that no one can take away, no matter how you look at it, no matter what you do with the numbers, my friend, because those will not change. As far as an accomplishment for the city, I think I was fortunate enough to step in right after Mayor Carpenter died and took the city and led it for 6 to 7 months and you can read about it, what some of the things that I was able to accomplish, including settling a $45 million lawsuit for 10% of that total amount. So that is, to me, the biggest accomplishment that I have.
Thank you all three. Again, I'm not sure we're going to allow a rebuttal on that one, Councilor Rodriguez. Thank you very much. Isaiah Thelwell.
All right. So this should be question number 7. This one's quite important to us here with the Greater Brockton Young Professionals. It's about selling Brockton. So, imagine I'm a potential developer or a homeowner, which we have a lot of homeowners here, people coming from outside of the state, outside of cities, coming to Brockton. Sell me on why Brockton is a great investment. We're going to start this with Councilor Durancourt.
Pretty easy. Hey, listen, man. I'm here to sell our city. Number one, we are half an hour from Boston. We got 3 train stops. DPW is somewhere that you can go with your family and have some fun. And the people that live here, as you know, is very diverse. From people from Africa to Haiti and elsewhere. What I can tell you is this: if you take the time to make that investment, I promise you, you will never regret it. Because we, as the City of Champion, not only has the diversity that you need, but the music, the food, the culture, and everything that you need. I just want people to understand that they want me to answer this question as a salesman. I'm selling Brockton to somebody right now. So if you come to my city, we will not only open the door for you, but we will show you how to dance, how to taste best food, and how to do some of the stuff that you never think of.
Thank you, Durancourt. Thank you. Thank you. Councilor Rodriguez, you're next.
Thank you, Isaac. I'll tell him one thing. I am from Brockton. And if you see on my campaign sign, it says, I am for Brockton always. Not in good times, not just in good times, not just in bad times, but always from Brockton. Brockton is a city of diversity. We're the only majority black city in New England. And that's something that we can sell as the city. We've got the best school system in the state. We've got the best police and fire department in the state. We've got the best restaurants that you can think of, multiple restaurants of the different ethnic groups. This city has the best workforce in the state. And it's not me saying that. A lot of people have said that. So if you look at it, this is a city to be in. This is a city to come and run your business. This is a city to bring your families in so you can live with the rest of us. Again, I've been here for 47 years. I know no other city in this country. Brockton is a city that we all love and look forward to continue to help progress.
Thank you, Councilor. Candidate Villar.
I love this because I feel like I've been doing this all campaign season as folks come in to help me canvass, and I love taking them on a tour, especially through downtown where I live. So I'm half Puerto Rican, and part of our culture and tradition is we love boxing. So it was only right. Marciano was always a household name and just his legacy. And so that's what I sell Brockton on all the time. Once upon a time, even during Marciano's prime time, presidents made it their business to come to our city just to drive through our town and spend their dollars here, okay? And so I would love to bring that back. But also, we have some historical landmarks. In addition to, we're 40% foreign born. We are the blackest city in New England, which, it's not, not all your skinfolk, kinfolk, right? But what it's about is what we bring here and the different cultures that we all come from. So you've heard of Angola. Even look at us right here. Like, I know these are my opponents, but just look at your top candidate options.
Thank you,
We
candidate.
represent our city.
Thank you, candidate.
All right.
Any rebuttals?
All right, for the final question, we're going to do quick hitters. Quick hitters. I'm going to expect an answer within 3 seconds, thereabouts. And they'll be simple. They'll be yes, no, whatever. Currently, after last night adding 4 police officers, we now have, I believe, 206 police officers in the city. That's what I get from the sources. After your 2 years as mayor, how many will we have? Moses, Councilor Rodriguez will go first, then Ms. Villar, then Councilor Durancourt.
We should have 10 more.
Thank you. Ms. Villar?
We would have the same number.
Probably 25 more.
Because this is quick hitting, we're not going to get into the details. Next one. I've read of enough cities, in order to make things more transparent, they now have a Thursday, first Thursday of the month, meeting. We could do it at junior highs, middle schools in Brockton, a different one every month. Would you support, we start with Councilor Rodriguez, a monthly first Thursday of the month meeting for an hour at every middle school, once a month at each one?
Now, why would I say no?
Well, I hope not.
Why would I make any sense? Of course
No,
I would.
of course
I would.
But I'm going to hold you to this, so thank you. Council, Ms.
Don't
Villar,
do it on a Monday, though.
if that's Thursday to me. Every day's a happy day.
Yes, and I actually think we need weekly updates, not just monthly.
Yes, I will support that.
All right, pre-K education. We do not have pre-K education in the city. Again, we're going to try to hold your feet to the fire because this is being recorded. In favor?
If we can afford it, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
If we can afford it, yes.
Reasonable answers. Now we're going to get tough. 6 years ago, when you were the acting mayor, or the interim mayor, I forget the proper, I don't mean to disrespect with the wrong title, but I know how you are. You're not worried about it. We had a restaurant guide that went out to all Brocktonians. Can we get that again?
Why not? Did it once, can do it again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Next one, a new homeowner manual where each new homeowner in the city receives some information. We just do not welcome people. This has been a pet peeve of mine for 40 years. Again.
Great idea, yes.
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 Well, we're going to get a lot done, no matter who wins. We were so lucky. But all right, now we get tough. It's Saturday night, and you're going to take a special person out. Wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. What's your restaurant of choice in Brockton? Special place.
She told me not to say hers.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough, huh?
Well, there's a ton of them.
You got to pick one, sir. You're only going out that one Saturday night, Council.
Huh? I probably would stay in the middle of the city and go to Pretos.
Thank you.
I'm going to Salo.
Thank you.
She told me not to pick her, so.
Council.
Tembu.
Thank you. Next October, Brocktober 26. Festival at Campanelli Stadium. Can your administration make a weekend or a party that goes on a couple weekends' work so we, again, promote our city?
When I was the mayor, we had the 125th party at City Hall, so
I
why
was
would I
going to
say
get
no?
to that one, Council. I was going to get to that one. Now you just wrecked that question, but thank you. Ms.
Yes,
Villar?
absolutely.
Councilor?
I love to dance, man. Absolutely.
All right. I don't like to dance, so if I have to dance, no one's going. Trust me. They'll all leave in a hurry. I was going to ask about the red, white, and black ball or the 125th, and you were the last to do it. Mayor Unit started, so you're in favor of bringing that back next November.
Next November.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
These are the cultural events we need. It's nice to see, no matter how much we argue over some things that are small, some things that are big, we are united. Tough question now. This is the final question I have before we go to the closing remarks. This is maybe the toughest question of all in the city of Brockton. It's Friday night, and you got to get pizza. You can only go to one place.
Cape Cod pizza. Sorry, the hamburger pizza is just my thing.
I like the fact you
sorry.
stepped up right away.
Huh?
I like the fact you stepped up right away with the answer. No hesitation. Got to love it.
I'm going to Stella.
Council?
You know I'm a loyal person, though. I used to work as a busboy at Christos. Obviously, Christos, takeout, and of course, Cape Cod pizza. I have to be loyal to my base.
Okay. Well, I love that round. It's so much fun. You get to see everyone's personality, style, whatever. Now we go to the final closing remarks. Closing remarks, and we go first with Councilor Rodriguez. Yeah, in order to make it fair, Councilor. No, I understand, but what we did, we have the perfect amount of rounds, and what I wanted to just make sure so we know, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this. I felt like because you went first to start the show, it would be fair to keep that same order, okay? Thank you for your support there. Thank you for acknowledging.
Listen, I'm here to support my
Exactly.
friend.
You are.
know?
You're good. Thank you.
I'm good. I'm the senior citizen of the group.
2 minutes, please.
My dear friends, you heard a lot of promises tonight, most of which are just campaign rhetoric and promises that will never materialize. But I will ask you, who in this city does not want to see reduction in crime? Who doesn't want to see our schools succeed? Who doesn't want to manage the affairs of our city? Who doesn't want to improve the road conditions of our city? Who doesn't want to solve the issues of homelessness, mental health, and the addiction problem? Who doesn't want to beautify the aesthetics of our city? Those are things that we want, but the question should be, how are we going to do this? Tell me, you have done these things in your past? And the answer is clear. As one of my professors said a long, long time ago, you hear a lot of gobbledygook in places like this. Brockton is a Plan B city where the councilors have a lot of power and ability. One needs to tread the fine needle to balance between governing and fostering a relationship. Being a mayor of this great city is being able to work with your fellow councilors. We can't treat this city like it's a dictatorship. One needs to have the right temperament, the discipline to do it. There are things that a mayor can do on his own, but the vast majority of things in the city require collaboration and cooperation between the city council, the school committee, and the various unions that work very hard for us every day here in the city. I don't want to leave without saying that I have been endorsed by the local 1162 unions, labor union here in the city. That spirit of collaboration is what I will bring to the job beginning as your next mayor. Yes, I said job. It's a job that requires one to apply for it. I'm applying for this job in front of all you here to be your next mayor. I have a resume, and you can check the resume of my accomplishments. Not promises that will not be filled. I believe in our city. I believe in you, our residents, and the taxpayers. I ask you to join our campaign, our movement, in our efforts to change the landscape of this great city. Together, we will make Brockton a city that we will always, always be proud of. Some of us have and will continue to be for Brockton, always, no matter what. Thank you. May God bless you all. May God keep you all. And may God continue to bless the city of Brockton.
Candidate Villar.
Thank you. So, in closing, Brockton has faced serious issues. We're talking underfunded schools, rising homelessness, addiction, unsafe streets, and a city budget stretched thin to its limits. These problems have persisted under the same leadership for years. Both of my opponents here have had the chance to bring results to Brockton, but they haven't. I'm not a career politician. I'm a Brockton native who's worked in government, the private sector, with families in crisis. I've sat in prisons with our families and in the same living rooms of their families. I understand this not just through a textbook or through a resume or because somebody endorsed me and I've sat and had conversations, but I've lived this. And I've taken that to my work. And I know I look young, thank you. But I've been doing this work for nearly 15 years. And if we really add up my lived experience, it's the culmination of from the moment I was born, right here at Signature Healthcare. So, in short, my priorities are clear. Stabilize our schools, expand affordable housing, strengthen public safety with behavioral health and crisis response, revitalize downtown, modernize city operations so that every dollar works for our residents and not just the elected official themselves. Brockton shaped me, and now it's time to serve with accountability, collaboration, and as I said, real results. This is a city with incredible potential, and together we can build a Brockton where every child, every family, and every community has the opportunity to thrive. Vote Luz Villar, September 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Villar. After Councilor Durenencourt speaks his final remarks, I know we'll have a final word from Isaiah. So, Councilor Durenencourt, it's your floor.
Thank you. Well, I would like to begin by saying thank you to you guys for taking the time to put this together. And of course, to my, opponents on the stage. And of course, to you folks for taking the time to do this. Let's face it, like I said earlier, this is a moment that we need to not only think of, but reflect deeply. This is not a moment for politics. This is a moment to fix the mess that has been going on. This is not a moment for exclusivity. This is a moment for inclusivity. The question is simple. Which one of us do you trust to lead this city? Which one of us do you believe has the ability and the responsibility to carry on? What I'll tell you, who I believe. Today, I received the endorsement of 1199 SEIU because they know who I am and they know what I stand for. I received the endorsement of 509, the endorsement of 888, the endorsement of the Coalition for Social Justice, and of course, the Norfolk County Correction Officers, because they know when I say something, I mean it. I am the guy that refused to take money from any special interest. To justify my point, I put more money in this race than anybody else because I believe in this community. I want to be the mayor that represents everyone. I want to be the mayor that represents every corner of the city, no matter who you are, where you're from, and what you stand for. Because at the end of the day, the definition of insanity is repeat the same thing over and over again and expect something different. With this school deficit, we understand who created it. With the over budget for $51 million, we also know. If there is one thing that I do and always do, when I give you my word, I stand by it. Tonight, my presence on this stage for some people is impossible, improbable, because obviously nobody thought that I could be here. But because of you, because of the people in this community who opened the door for me when I first came here, that's the reason why I am here. I am grateful for every single one of you. And if I'm lucky enough to become the next mayor of Brockton, on day one, I will do whatever I can to bring accountability to our budget, to making sure that we have a CFO not only to work at City Hall, but balance the budget, to enforce traffic, to create an environment where our senior citizens can what they call tax incentive. On September 16, I am asking you for your vote. my name is the longest name on the ballot, and I'm the first name on the ballot. Even if you don't remember anything tonight, remember that. My name is the longest name on the ballot, and together, let's do this.
That was good. That was good. Well, guys, this concludes our very first mayoral debate. You guys had a good time tonight? Did you feel like you got a chance to know these guys? So, firstly, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, Councilor Durencourt. Thank you, mayoral candidate Villar. Thank you, Councilor Rodriguez. Thank you guys for coming here and doing this for the people. This is awesome. Hold on, almost done. I also wanted to thank Brockton Community Access. They recorded this whole thing. It's live streamed right now. Thank you guys, Brockton Community Access. Thank you, Venue 727, John Andrade. Thank you for, he does great events here. Also, thank you to DJ Alex. He did our sound for the night. We sound pretty clear. If we do, thank you very much. Thank you, the audience. Also, thank you, Jim Stapleton, Dr. Eliza Wilson. Thank you, guys. And one last thing I want to say, this is the Greater Brockton Young Professionals. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. There's another candidate forum tomorrow night. Thank you guys. Have a good night.